Hi, I'm Catherine. Thanks for clicking on my channel. So I don't know if you've read the channel description, but in case you haven't, the whole reason behind this channel is because after 22 years of living in Cardiff, I'm planning my escape. And that sounds a bit more dramatic than it is. Cardiff's a nice city. But the reason I've chosen to leave and looking to leave now is varied. So 3 years ago in June, my mum died. Now, she came here, we sort of all landed here for various personal reasons. We have no ties to the city at all, although my sister's still here. My brother was here for a while, but now he's now in Switzerland and has been for since 2010. So and obviously, I came here because I was a single parent. I came with my son when he was very young, well, 10 months old or something, and because I wanted to be closer to family. But he's now gone, and I'll come into that in a bit later. So basically, I have no ties to this city at all. I have no emotional ties, and to be honest with you, the weather is absolutely awful. I'm trying not to swear because I might not. I don't know what sort of YouTube views are, but it's absolutely awful. Not all the time, obviously, but it is the wettest city in the UK. And obviously we've had a heat wave the same as everybody else, but it's looking out today, it's grey, it's overcast, it's still warm, and to be honest with you, after the past few days it's kind of quite a relief. But it's really galling when everyone else is having a nice summer and all you keep getting is rainy day after rainy day after rainy day. I've never got used to it. I mean, I've always kind of lived on the east coast. I grew up in the southeast. I was at college in the northeast. I lived in London for 20 years. And so I've just decided that why am I still here? There's no reason for me to be here anymore. So I'm going to make my escape. But the thing is, like, where do I go? I mean, there's no point going back to my hometown because everyone that I was, good friends with has left. I can't go back to London. I wouldn't afford, after 20 years, I wouldn't be able to afford to go back to London. I've still got family in the northeast. Sorry, not in the northeast, in the northwest, where I was born, but we left there when I was 5 years old, and most of them are kind of quite old now. So I don't know the northwest. I mean, we used to go back for holidays to see family and stuff when we were kids, but I haven't been back there for yonks, so I don't know the northwest. So it's a question of where on earth do I go, and what's the point of moving to another place in the UK? I mean, I'm still like not convinced, not sure about this because it does seem like quite a big risk to move abroad. I am 64, so so it could be my last chance for a big adventure. And I do feel that like moving somewhere else in the UK is just like changing deck chairs on the Titanic at the moment. I'm starting from scratch anyway, so why not really kind of take a leap and just really challenge myself and go abroad somewhere. But where do I go abroad? That's the big question. So this channel is going to be about me wrestling with all these emotions and me in real time making these decisions and doing the research. And and hopefully if you find that entertaining, come along with me for the journey. It would be great to have you along with me. So I have been thinking about doing this for a while, but what really focused my mind was a conversation I had with my son the other day. He was calling because he's coming home for a couple of weeks at the end of August. And so he was phoning to talk to me about that. He's mucked up all the dates. So I was supposed to meet his girlfriend, but because of his usual, don't get me started, it's all messed up. Because I'm going to Portugal, so we're trying to tighten because I'm going to Portugal for a wedding. So he rang me to talk about his plans. So I'm not going to see her, but he's coming home for a couple of weeks. Then he's going out to meet her in Europe. She's there with family members on holiday. Then they're going off to Morocco for a week, and then they fly back to Australia. They got to come to London, and then they fly back to Australia. And oh, did I mention that? He's been on Australia for the past nearly 3 years. My mum died in the June and he went off in the August. I mean, he didn't just abandon me This had been planned for a while before my mum died. My mum died completely unexpectedly. So anyway, so he went off August 2023, and he's been there for almost 3 years this year. I mean, he's come home. He came home once last summer, and I hadn't seen him at that point for 22 months. So he came home once last summer. And yeah, so he was telling me he's got this obviously an Australian girlfriend who he seems pretty serious about. And their plan is then after Morocco to go back to Australia, work until December this year. He works in the Australian mining industry. He's doing one of these fly in, fly out jobs, which is kind of quite taxing, shall we say. He does 14 days of 12-hour shifts, 1 week of days, 1 week of nights. And then he flies out and has a week off, and then he flies back in. So, and his girlfriend is a cabin crew for Qantas Airlines. So that's their plan up to there. And then they are planning from Australia in December. They're going to go to South and Central America and do a couple of months of traveling in that area. And then the plan is to go up to Canada and work in Canada for a year while they can get a visa. I don't know what the visa status is in Canada, but I don't know. But that's the plan. They're going to go to Canada. And this is in part all to do with helping them get the evidence for my son to go back into Australia on a partner visa, because by the time they do all that, by the time December comes when they leave, he will have used up his 3-year allowance, so he can't go back in on the work holiday visa that's open to young British people. So he'll have to go back in either on a sponsorship or on this partnership or on a partner visa. So that's the plan. So it just made me think that what am I doing? I think I've been staying here because I wanted to sort of, in case he wanted to come home, because Cardiff's the only place he's ever known as home. And I think I've just been sitting here thinking, well, just in case he needs to come back. And I think, no, after 3 years, I've got to stop thinking just in case. He's 22 now, and he's getting on with his own life, which is great. It's what you want as a parent, your child to get off and spread their wings, fly the nest. But it does mean that I've been thinking to myself, why am I still in Cardiff if he's never coming back? I'm just, allowing myself to be stuck here. So I've got to make some decisions. And the decision is I'm not going to stay here. There's nothing keeping me here. My mum's died. He's off doing his own thing. My sister's still here. But she's not going to be here forever. She and her husband, her daughter lives over in Suffolk. They have never really meant to, they've been here for longer. They've been here, 35 years. I think, she met him here. So she came, I think, in the early 90s, about 1990, I think 91, something like that. They got married in 93. So I think she'd been here a good 2 years before that. So, so they're not planning to stay. At some point, they're going to go. So I didn't really want to come here in the first place. I only came for personal reasons, sort of to be with the family because I was being a single mother. So I didn't really want to come in the first place. But there you go. I'm here, and I'll be the only one left. So I was thinking, no, it's time to make some decisions, and this is it. Now, it won't be my first rodeo when it comes to living abroad, because back in my early 30s, I went to Tokyo, lived in Tokyo for a while. I taught English as a second language, and that is one way that I still teach English as a second language online. I took a long break. When I came back to the UK, I've got a background in marketing. But I've still got my qualification, and for a while I've been teaching ESL to Chinese kids over the internet. So that's my kind of day job. And I can do that. I can do that from anywhere. So that's obviously fantastic because, I'm not tied to a job as such. But obviously going out and you're going out somewhere in your early, and I did know people there. I mean, when I did my ESL qualification, I met two girls who were doing the same course, and they were both going to Tokyo. And so they were sort of saying, because I had visions of going to Italy, I think I'd just seen Remove the View. And I fancied being swept off my feet by some Italian count or something. Anyway, highly romantic. But they were saying to me, "Oh, you can go to Italy. You're from the UK. You can go to Italy anytime. It's on your doorstep. Blah 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 blah. Come to Japan with us." It's like, oh, okay. So, um, so I did. I ended up going to Japan, and I absolutely loved it. I loved every minute of it while I was there. Um, and but it was so. But this time it's going to be very different because even though there was only two of them that I knew, when I flew out there, I was met off the plane. I had that mini support network. One of them was married. She'd gone out with her husband who'd been sent out there. The other one was working for a large English language school that had kind of locations all over Tokyo. So she was in school accommodation with lots of other young teachers. So I kind of almost had a ready-made social life when I went out, and I had this kind of group. I mean, most of them were quite a lot younger than me, but yeah, I had that to fall back on. I ended up sharing an apartment with a German guy and his Japanese girlfriend, and we just had a blast. It was such huge fun. So there you go. But then I came home. Might get onto that another time. I wish I'd never bothered, but I did anyway. So yeah, so going abroad on one level doesn't frighten me because it's not the first time, but on another level at 64 compared to going at, what was I, 32, it's completely different. But I do feel it's maybe the rocket up the backside that my life needs right now. Cardiff is, I mean, apart from the weather, Cardiff is comfortable. It's a nice city. My life is pretty cozy here. Everything I know. I mean, I haven't got a lot of friends. I mean, I had lots of acquaintances, but none of, especially, when your kids go through school together, lots of mums from school and that kind of thing, but kind of people drift. Once they get to secondary school, people drift and they've all got their own families. And so many of them actually from Cardiff, so they've all got their own commitments and jobs and families. And it's just people are busy. So I get it. So I just decided that no, I think, while I'm really not tied down here, I think the time's to get out because it is the rain, it is the weather that really, really depresses me and has done since I came here. But before any of that can happen, there's so much to sort out. First of all, I've got to get this house ready to rent out. There's so much. I mean, nothing major, but there's just so much needs doing to it. And I will admit, I've kind of been, since Mum died and then James left, and I've kind of been here on my own. I've been a bit, I wouldn't say, I don't want to put a label like depressed because I don't want to sort of negate people who really are depressed. But life's been a bit, and it's all my own fault. I mean, I just can't be bothered to do anything. So I've kind of, I'm not eating well. I mean, that's the other thing. I lost loads of weight, and I've put quite a lot back on, which I'm really pissed off about. But it's all my own fault because I've just not been bothered with eating. I was drinking a bit too much. I mean, I don't drink a lot, but I was drinking too much for me. I mean, nowhere near what I used to drink in my 30s, 20s and 30s. But yeah, I kind of virtually almost stopped drinking. I mean, I haven't given up alcohol at all, but I did when I was losing all the weight. But I enjoy drink too much. I mean, I just love a glass of wine or a glass of cider or something occasionally. So yeah, but so I want to sort of like get myself healthier before I go abroad, and it's not going to be like overnight. I see this probably not happening until about March next year, because what I'd quite like to do, timing wise, is if I can, I'd like to maybe pop over to Canada and see my son and his girlfriend before they leave Canada to go back to Australia. Because after that, I'm not really sure when I'm going to see them again, or see him again. And yeah, so it's kind of like, well, yeah, if I can see him maybe next March, And then, as I said, I went 22 months. I mean, it makes such a difference being able to FaceTime them, obviously have conversations and see them on the screen and FaceTime them. And I don't know how people used to cope really. But yeah, so I thought I'll do that. And then I'll maybe go to Canada and come and be at the point where I'm literally on the verge of leaving, go to Canada, come home, do all the final bits and pieces, and then go off to wherever it is I decide to go to. So I've got to do all the research about where I'm going to go. Assuming I do go abroad, I think I am. I think I'm going to go abroad. I do think it's a kind of opportunity for last adventure, real adventure. I mean, how much? I mean, I probably got another 15 years at a push. Kind of be 80 then. I probably have to come back to the UK once I'm 80, I think. Or the other thing is, if my son has settled in Australia, I might be going. I think I would qualify. You used to have quite a lot of money there. I think I'd qualify as what's known as a dependent. So I could get a dependent visa because he's my only relative. I haven't told him that. And I'm sure his girlfriend would be thrilled to think of well, I mean, assuming they're still together. Well, whoever he's with, my mum's coming over to live here. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It may never happen. I mean, I might pop my clogs when I'm 70 or something. So who knows? Yeah. So this has all got to be sorted. So the house has got to be sorted. I want to get healthier. I mean, as I said, I'm going to this wedding in Portugal in September. Then I'm not going to go before Christmas. There'll be a lot to do. Then I want to go to Canada in March to see him. And then after that, so I'm sort of thinking about, maybe 10 months, maybe 10, 11 months time, be looking to actually, get on the plane. Well, we'll see, won't we? Who knows what will happen. So if you'd like to come along with me on this journey as it plays out in real time, see me get my house ready, get myself ready, get all the planning done, making decisions, agonizing about things. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? No doubt having a few breakdowns along the way. Then I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. And if you've just enjoyed this particular video, but it's not something that's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't really interest you for now, then I really would appreciate you just giving it a quick like. As a new creator, it would really help me. So thank you very much. So thanks very much for watching. There is a new video dropping pretty shortly. And there'll be a link to that somewhere on this screen, but I'm not sure where. I haven't worked out how to do that yet. So I'm learning so much new stuff. It's interesting. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one. And I hope to see many of you along with me on this journey, keeping me accountable. Yeah, that would be great actually, because the idea of having to come back here once or twice a week and say, well, I've done this, and reporting on progress is going to really help me stay accountable and keep me moving towards that goal. So see you on the next one. Bye.